Okay, good morning, everybody. We're 2 minutes off schedule. CenturyLink is helping us, I guess, today. So I am Bill Canada, Custer County Board of Commissioners Chairman, and this is Wednesday, December the 10th, 2025, and it's 9:03. We'll commence this meeting. Be sure to put your phones on silent. I'll do the same. So I'll convene this meeting, and let's have the pledge and the invocation.
Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I'm up. This guy already has for the case. Lord, we ask you to watch over us today, for we can conduct the business of the county and for the benefit of all of our citizens. We ask you to guide us and bless our decisions that we make today, and we do this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Paul. Okay, roll call. Kelly?
Commissioner Canada.
Here.
Commissioner Epp.
Present.
Commissioner Vogelsong.
Here.
County Attorney Dan Slater.
Here.
BOCC Admin Kayla Womack. Here. And Clerk to the Board Kelly Camper present.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Any amendments?
Audience introduction, sir.
Oh, wait a second, I'm sorry. Audience introduction, I checked it off as she was reading it. Let's start with Jim.
Jim Shadland.
Robert Smith, Human Resources Risk Management.
Elena Crawford.
And we'll end with Jim.
James Gilbert.
Anybody online?
Rob Klein.
Rob Klein. Okay, now can we amend the agenda if it's needed?
There we
I don't have any.
I don't have anything.
go. Have anything?
Okay, we'll move on. Minutes, November the 19th, 2025. I move we approve those minutes.
I'll second that.
I didn't, they're good job. And we're keeping up,
Yeah.
getting caught up. Anything?
No.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kenda, aye. Okay, Commissioner, you can start, Lucas.
Just been working on the budget. Of course, we had a snowstorm
But you gotta eat.
and then a power outage on Thursday that kind of shut us down for a couple half a day things. So anyway, that's hopefully past us. We'll see what this weather brings this year. But yeah, just working on the budget, trying to get it dialed down because we got to approve it by the 15th. So just doing things like that, trying to get some more policies put in place and resolutions put out there. So that's kind of what I've been working
A
on,
lot of it.
just cleaning things up.
See, we have a special meeting to approve the budget on Monday, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that and the mill levy certs.
All right, Paul?
A few things. This coming Tuesday, there's going to be a presentation for yet another Flight for Life business that actually will operate out of our county also to support it. I'll be in attendance to that. We're just going to try to attend that, and we'll give you more information on that as it becomes available. If you're interested in going, they did have a flyer out that the wife received, and so if you're interested in attending that, that's going to be 11:30 to 1 on Tuesday at Tony's. They're buying lunch, so if you're interested, please
They who?
contact me. Wasn't it?
Tony's or they who?
Tony's Pizza,
I know, but who's buying?
the company that's doing the presentation. So if you want a free piece of pizza, let me know. I'll put you on the list. Other than that, we're talking about snow. Snow up in Bear Basin was light. It did offer an opportunity for Road and Bridge to double up on some of the heavier areas and everything. And I did not get one complaint about snow. I don't know about everybody else, but it was fairly decent except for the western part of the county up here against the mountain. That was our heaviest snow area, so. I've even got some kudos on Bear Basin. We got about 2.5 inches out there, and that was it. Other than that, noticed a lot of traffic going down. I sat at Bear Basin yesterday morning a little bit, and I watched 50 cars going past Bear Basin at 271 and the highway. And that used to only be about 15 or 20. It's got to be 50 or more now. And so just be careful, especially hard scrabble. Looked like I went down the hill. I followed a truck. I don't think he's ever been in the mountains before. He was on his brakes every minute.
That's why they're all on their sides.
Of the grade. So anyway, just be careful, especially if you come into one of the switchback curves and they're doing about 5 miles an hour. So please be careful.
Okay, well, I'll pick it up there. Since you brought it up, Road and Bridge, I want to give them a lot of accolades for what they've done. People were confused, but the process is this. It costs a lot of money per cycle to go once through on all their routes. And I've asked for an actual counting of that, and it's roughly 80 grand, but we'll see what it actually is here. That includes benefits, that includes everything that people watching the road, et cetera. So what they did, they went out at 1 o'clock that night after the storm had spit all day and not try to keep up with the storm by going over and over and over it again. And at 1 o'clock at night, they were out there clearing that snow, and they had all the snow routes open. The school could have had school if they'd have wanted to. It was open and ready to go. And poof, just like that, all the potholes disappeared. Magic. But they're coming back. So be careful, like Paul said. Now it's mud they gotta watch out for. But I want to give them a big pat on the back, and that's the process. We're going to make sure we're using the county's money wisely. A couple other things. I did go to the CCI. A couple good things there. It got snowed out too the last day. They canceled it basically, and I wasn't able to give the presentation on the tax stuff we had on the ballot. But we did get a couple things done. There's a couple local people that started a company up here. It's called the Tumbleweed Terminator. Ron Beckner, a lot of you know Ron. And another fellow up here actually invented a machine, and they've got it produced. And it actually goes down a tumbleweed line, tumbleweeds blowing up against the fence, and it'll eat them up and not hit the fence. It doesn't harm the fence. It's like a big weed eater on a skid steer. Big deal, and it had a lot of people interested in that, especially the ones out in the East Plains where the tumbleweeds are a problem. And we got a little bit of it up here, but not a lot. But it's interesting. I'll pass this around and let people pass it and take a look at it. That was a big item at the show up there. A couple things on the pornography front. We are working with that. I mentioned it before. We have the engineering firm. It's called Canopy that has got a commercial product out that the Israelis have invented, and it's in their municipal government buildings and all that kind of thing, and it's available for us to use too, so we're considering what that is, see what the cost per device is, like $1 for a license for 5 years. I think we're going to go through more meetings. Got several counties interested in that when I was up at CCI too, so we'll band together, get about 3 or 4 of them together and see what we can do about getting it into all the taxing districts, the school, the sheriff's office, our county buildings, et cetera, and fire departments, et cetera. Be a good thing to get on. And we'll see more of that later. Also, the broadband program, I've asked to get a recap up here to end the year on where we stand. And with Hilltop, want to take some initiatives on it and get us started down that fiber program up from Walsenburg to Texas Creek and here down to Wet. Now, stay tuned on that. Also, we, the Board of Commissioners, are hosting the Upper Arkansas Water Conservancy District up here on the 18th. Put that in your calendar. We're going to get flyers out if we can, and I'll ask Caitlin to put it on the website here. He'll cover the history of the Arkansas, how they got started, what they're doing, the projects that are in works today here in Custer County, like raising the water level of Lake Deweese 4 feet, for example. And we'll know more about that. We can ask questions, and also their strategic vision, working with Round Mountain. Round Mountain's got new water supply that they're working on as well for the towns of West Cliff and Silver Cliff, and the plan to expand to make sure that we can protect the water in this valley by moving what their plans are to put their blue line further back to the south, which has always been a plan, but we need to see where that stands. That's on the 18th at 1 o'clock at Rancher's Roost. It'll be all afternoon. And finally, Community Corral is happening this weekend at the First Baptist Church, but the corral's got about 50 some odd people, local people on it, people you know, and it's really a neat lessons in carol to start off the Christmas season with. So that's First Baptist Church this Sunday at 1 or at 2 and 4. And that's all I have. Anybody else? Yeah.
Yeah, Paul, the Life to Life thing that you mentioned, my understanding was that's a company that's marketing insurance for emergency transport.
Yeah, that's why I decided to
So the
go.
lunch isn't really free.
Did you get a flyer, Jim?
What?
Did you have a flyer?
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause I was gonna go and just see what their actual presentation consists
Yeah,
of.
yeah, no, I just want everybody to know that
It is
their goal is to sell insurance.
Of course it is. It's
Right.
they're paying for it. That's their
And
advertising.
It's the
Right,
same,
but it sounded like it was a presentation on the wonderfulness of Life
Yeah.
for Life as opposed to
Right.
selling insurance.
and Reach has the same thing, they're an insurance license.
Okay, good. Thanks, Jim. All right. With that, how about attorney items? What you got?
I don't have anything.
Geez, you're a free man this week.
Well, a lot of stuff on the agenda that
Well, oh yeah, I see you were really pretty busy.
Yeah. just
Take a
bit.
breather.
Just a bit.
Did you have no question? No. Okay. Anything else? All right. How about Caitlin? No, you was first. Where were you?
I was listening. I thought he was just talking.
He was.
I know.
All right. Any unfinished business?
No.
We don't have any. Okay, good. We get to hit the new stuff on each one of these. A lot of resolutions that year-end efforts to move money around and finish up what we've got. So let's move on. So road back vacation and replat. Come on up.
Nice
We
outfit.
haven't seen you for a while.
Good morning.
Okay, your show.
All right, so we have a replat for Rotaback out on Altamira. They did submit their map and everything to us, and then I had Kit Shy, who is a member of our planning commission, go over it just to make sure everything was good. He did make adjustment suggestions to this other surveyor, and the surveyor agreed that
What's the other surveyor's name?
Colorado Land Surveyors.
Right.
So he made suggestions, and then that surveyor agreed with Kit that those were things that needed to be done, because they had removed the utility line, and they didn't replace the utility line on the new
Oh, really?
thing, and so Kit caught that, and they did get a new
Good.
utility line put in. And then they had worded it something totally different, and Kit was like, that's not gonna work for a replat, so they were in agreement, so they got it all. Nothing's changing, the acreage isn't changing, they're just changing, the way it's laid out in order to fit the homes on there with the topography.
You did say they removed that trunk that went across there.
The what?
That was an electrical,
So on the
Right.
first one, the first map, they had completely removed the utility easement. It didn't replace it, and now it is on the new one. The
Are there
new-
utilities in current easement location?
There is.
Okay.
The one that existed before.
Well, the utilities
Are
are,
the utilities in the new location?
yes,
Okay.
So there aren't utilities in the old utility easement, there's utilities in the new
Right.
utility easement.
mhm.
Yeah,
Okay. That's a little confusing, but-
that's
What utilities are in the easement?
Electric,
Okay. So they already have electric lines along with the new proposed lines?
yes.
That's interesting, that's unusual.
okay.
Question. I move that we approve the vacation and replat line adjustments for road back.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion of it?
No, I think it's
No.
makes sense.
Pretty
Any
simple.
good?
I am,
Plain
and then,
simple.
Okay, all in favor, any discussion out here? How about Rob? Is Rob? Okay. Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye, Lucas.
Aye.
Vogels, aye.
Kanda, aye. Okay,
Caitlin has the map for you to sign after the meeting, okay?
Okay.
you got the pen for it?
Yep, she's got it.
It says auto pen.
Yeah. Not an auto pen. It's the real deal, but it prints on plastic. Okay, Custer County Early Childhood Needs Assessment Contract. Who's working that?
Stacy's online.
Stacy is online, so she.
Oh, Stacy, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay. This is the contract that was sent to us in response to the RFP for the Custer County Early Childhood Needs Assessment that will be funded with the grant that was awarded through the DOLA Local Government Child Care Planning Grant. So this was the contract that has been sent to us. I don't know if you have any more questions or if you had a chance to look at it. But this work is, she and I are actually meeting this afternoon, but the work will start in January with the goal of it being completed by end of May, which is in line with the grant deliverables with DOLA, which says the work has to be completed by June 30th of 2026.
Okay. Is there a, so the contract, this is the contract?
Yes.
So where does the county sign?
Well, Stacy will sign.
She'll sign for it.
Stacy will sign for it.
Okay. Okay, so what are we doing? We're just
Well, I'd make-
walk us through this info.
So this is just like we did with the housing needs assessment.
Right.
You know, how many kids do we have? What is out there for them? What are we providing? Where are some things that we're lacking? And we got a grant to pay for 100% of it. So, or grant monies to pay for 100% of it. So.
It will also help feed into the early childhood early childhood strategic plan that I'm working on with stakeholders, including Sarah Bertelson, Vicki White, Lucas, and the school district, the other childcare providers. But this needs assessment will help gather, like Lucas said, the information to drive the strategic plan.
Okay. So, just.
I'll make a motion to approve Stacy Terrell with Custer County's Kids Council to go after the Custer County Early Childhood Needs Assessment contract.
I'll
move
second.
forward with it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to support the grant for the early childhood assessment.
Support the contract, not the grant. Grant we already did.
Yeah, that's right. The contract. Okay, all in favor, or any other questions out here? All right, all in favor of approving the contract?
Aye.
Say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Stacy.
Stacy.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Air Spring, this is an interesting proposal and contract.
So this is, John Mapes, probably busy. So John Mapes, we have what we have with Lumen, and that's separate from Starlink. And our Starlink, we have basically no, well, who do you call when Starlink goes out? You gotta put in a ticket, you wait for that ticket to come back. But PDS, Heather Spawn, they said, hey, let's reach out to one of our vendors and let's see if we can get you better pricing and a package deal for both enterprise Starlink on both the courthouse, county office building, and the sheriff's building, because we really want to separate out those two networks and keep them separate and have the redundancy.
You gotta have it so that it comes up quicker.
Yeah, so
Wow.
they reached out to this company called AirSpring, and AirSpring gave us a price of both Starlink, enterprise Starlinks, and Lumen fiber to us with enhanced speeds for $700 less than what we are paying Lumen right now, just for Lumen. And then the two Starlink accounts that we have are basically residential accounts. They're not for the bandwidth that we really probably should have.
Can't handle it.
So this saves us some money, and also then John's got somebody, hey, this Starlink isn't working. He's got one number to call, and they work with Starlink to get it back up and going. We don't have to put a ticket in and wait a day or two.
Okay, that's good.
So
is there a penalty for dropping Lumen?
no, because we're still with Lumen, but we're just not directly to Lumen. They reached out and they said, hey, can you give us AirSpring's contract so we can see if we can hit the price? And I think that's unethical. We don't share. I mean, my whole life has been, you never share.
Well,
I don't share what Bill Kanda gave me for a price to Paul Vogel's song to see if it's cheaper. I just don't. I don't think that's the right thing
well,
to do.
you can't have competition if they all know what each other's bidding.
Yeah.
You all end up paying the
Once,
same price.
and once we get a backup generator or whatever for the court, our whole system, that's all we would need to be active to contact through any of our internet capabilities.
Yeah, as long as the other
We have
end of the
power.
line is, but yeah.
Just want to make sure.
The state systems, we are seeing if we can put them on Starlink as the backup, but they have not responded to us yet.
And they got it, they're agreed to do
So,
that.
yes, Dan.
Commissioner Epp sent this to me on Monday, and I hadn't had a chance to look at the contract yet, so I just been looking at it and see some things that I might want to see if they can change,
Okay.
such as us agreeing to the venue of California and Los Angeles County. So maybe we put this off for a week. Would that be a problem?
Well, what we could do.
No, I don't think it should be. We're currently up and going, so.
I think we could approve doing this, and then you provide the contact.
We can put it on the 18th. as well.
Either way,
Either way, it works. I guess it
I'm
doesn't
fine either
matter.
way, whether
It's
you
still a
approve
week,
it, subject to.
Okay, bring it back.
Attorney, or bring it back.
Bring it back.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
So you haven't had a chance to even go through it at all?
Other than just a quick go through with the whole.
Pretty, there's a lot of small print here, you better take.
Well, not only that, it's not just the small print, they incorporate a whole other set of contracts from their website into this contract, so it's not even what you have in front of you, it's, looking at what they have incorporated from their website as their master
Nice. Okay, all right, that'll be good next week. Okay, moving along. Letter of support for the Silver Cliff Baseball Field Complex. And who's presenting that?
So Buck couldn't be here, but he's looking for grants. He's got some grant money, and he's getting close to having everything they need to move forward with repurposing, revamping, updating the ball fields in Silver Cliff. And for going after other grants, he wanted more community letters of support, and I said I'd put one before the board to approve or.
Okay, I'll read it. To whom it may concern, the Custer County Board of Commissioners strongly supports the Silver Cliff Baseball Field project. Silver Cliff baseball fields are home to the Custer County baseball team and the Wet Mountain Valley youth baseball teams. By supporting this project, the commissioners are supporting a safe and long-lasting impact to our county's youth. The project hopes to replace the scoreboards, the PA system, and fencing around the fields. The Custer County Commissioners has supported the work that Silver Cliff has already accomplished with the baseball fields through Conservation Trust Funds, etc. The Commissioners see it as a valuable resource for our community and will continue to support this project. It's very well written.
Very good.
Comments? I move we approve the letter for support of the Custer County
I'll second that.
baseball field. Okay, any other comments, public? All in favor, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Paul?
What was on, eh?
Kanda, aye. Okay, next up, Resolution 2551 is,
No, it's not.
Vern just keep.
Skipped another one.
What did I, oh, I went, put the big check mark. Okay, it's the approval of the sale of the sheriff's office surplus first.
He's not here. Is he online?
No. So it's just everything in green there is what's going to be noted to the public, and then put on govdeals.com to auction off.
Okay, so that'd be coats, cold weather jackets, there's 14 of them, one pair of gloves, it looks like.
Hopefully a pair.
Yeah, hope it is. One glove.
That's all you get.
Parkas, gloves, 22 pairs of different kind of gloves. All these are expensive gloves. They're $42, so they're important. Ammo boxes and other gloves.
Torque wrenches, parkas, aluminum water tank, cold weather jackets, pants, tires, rims, bags, trailer of some sort, mule, very rough shape. And I take it that's a ATV mule, not a four-legged mule.
It's getting that too expensive to feed.
Mittens, generator light, some type of a barrier, and more cold weather jackets and sights.
There's several $1,000s if we totaled up. It doesn't have the total here, but it looks like it goes double, $3,000 or $4,000 maybe. So that's good. So, you got a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the sale of this 2024 DLE property to auction on GovDeals.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the 2024 DLE property item list from the sheriff for auction. Any comments? Jim?
Where do the proceeds go?
The proceeds can go back into his accounts, can't be used for benefits, insurance, or salaries, but can be used for other, to maintain other DLE equipment, what they get from the military, so.
Also valuable for capital improvement if it can be used, and then that frees up our capital improvement on the other side. We don't have to put in the sheriff at some point, possibly. Okay, any other questions? Online? Okay, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of that motion for the 2024 DLA property auction? Say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda? Aye. Now, Vernon.
Mr. Vern.
Good morning, all.
Morning, sir.
So you're gonna be up here for a few minutes.
Short sleeves on a cold day. Wow.
At least
I'll
he's
put a
not
jacket
saying-
on as soon as it gets cold. That was a running joke with Clint Smith and I.
You're on.
But, yeah. All right.
You're on.
We have some procedural resolutions and we have some bookkeeping resolutions. Do you want me to read the
Just read a summary,
verbiage?
sure,
Or-
a summary.
Okay.
2551 will be, so the sheriff's office received a bunch of grants, and this basically authorizes the expenditures associated with those grants. SRO School Patrol, a federal COPS grant for 2025. All of these basically came in after the budget was created. So this is your motion or your resolution to authorize the funds
And
expenditure.
the total is?
Total is $113,088. SRO School Patrol, Federal COPS grant, Peace Officer Mental Health grant, and a Vail grant.
Okay, good.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolution or adopt resolution number 25-51.
I'll second that.
Okay. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt 2551. Any other comments, questions, public, anything? Okay, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of adopting resolution 2551, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Paul?
Vogelsong, aye.
Kanda, aye. Okay, next up, Vernon.
Resolution 2552, appropriating additional sums of money to the total of $11,000 to defray unexpected costs associated with the Tyler Public Safety software conversion. When we composed the budget last year, we didn't know the complete, well, we still don't know the
Details
complete,
on
but we didn't have a complete picture of how much we would have to expend for that Tyler Public Safety software. And so this basically backfills their communication records management system fund to cover those unexpected
Real quick,
expenses.
explain what conversion means.
So conversion's the longest four-letter word in history. This particular conversion related to moving from the Omnigo public safety software to the Tyler public safety software. It's a multi-million-dollar project. It was instituted by Fremont, the CRCA, and we didn't have a lot of say in the matter. So,
they got a bigger budget than we do.
well, they have a much bigger budget. They did obtain some grant funding. We have footed probably in the neighborhood of $100,000 worth of that. I had to rebuild the entire GIS system in order to come into their system compliance. It's been a 3-year project. It's been an adventure. So, and this in association with the next year's budget should bring us solvent with that project.
Good. Move.
I'll make a motion that we accept resolution number. Adopt, excuse me. We adopt resolution number 25-52 on the supplemental budget amount of $11,000.
Okay, I'll second that one. Any other comments on this discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for that vote to adopt resolution 2552. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Okay, you're up again.
2553, appropriating additional sums of money. This will be the appropriation of $42,500 in the capital fund. Essentially, what this represents is that the sheriff's office sold some vehicles totaling $52,500. We've excuse me. We've already accepted those funds, and they also bought vehicles out of their capital improvement line that was over and above authorized expenditures, but the purchases were approved through the board. So this is a bookkeeping resolution that backfills that account line item and brings it solvent so that it's properly represented, the funds being utilized in the right way.
So it'll pass the audit.
42,500. What's that?
It'll pass the audit.
There you go. Exactly.
Okay. I'll move that we adopt resolution 2553.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion?
No.
Call for that vote. Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye.
Vogelsong, aye.
Okay. Thank you, Coleman. Next.
2554, appropriating additional sums of money for the Information and Technology Department. We are going to, so in the course of this other conversion, moving to a contract IT services, we discovered that certain computers and certain pieces of hardware were pretty out of date. We've been limping things along for a long time. And so with the infusion of $17,000, it will help to reinforce our IT infrastructure and our resiliency systems, basically replacing a bunch of computers and some routing hardware in the basement.
Okay, good.
I will make a motion to adopt resolution number 25-54.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution 2554. And are there any public discussion on that? Questions? Hearing none, I'll call for that vote. All in favor say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Vogel's aye.
Kanda, aye. 55.
Resolution 2555. This relates to the Community Wildfire Evacuation Plan and the CWPP that is being worked on. Previously, you authorized the movement and budgeting of the PILT Title III funds that you did, I think, at the last meeting or the meeting before that. The total cost of that CWPP and the contract work to finish that, to work on that project, was a little bit more than was available in the PILT Title III funds. So with this resolution, $11,000 would be appropriated from the Emergency Services Fund balance, put towards the professional services line to work on that wildfire evacuation plan and the CWPP.
Okay.
I recommend that we adopt resolution number 25-55 in the amount of $11,000.
I'll second that motion. Questions? Okay, I'll call for that vote. All in favor for adopting resolution 2555, Lucas?
Aye.
Vogel's aye.
Kanda, aye. Okay, resolution 2556.
2556 relates to budgeting funds for the coroner capital improvement line to build the morgue, as well as certain radio purchases that were unbudgeted. This puts $15,352 into the coroner capital improvement line to bring that account line solvent with the expenses that have been incurred for radios and the county morgue.
Okay, I'll move we adopt 2556.
I'll second that one.
Any other questions, concerns? It is for both radios and the morgue construction.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just takes care of it.
Okay, I'll call for that vote. Paul?
Aye.
Kanda, aye.
Lucas, aye.
Okay, next up is the receipt of monetary donations. We got donations coming in.
Yes, sir. 2557 relates to, basically this is your official receipt of donations that have occurred throughout the year. The total is $34,614.29. These relate to Sheriff's Office admin, Sheriff's Office posse, K-9 donations, some funds for National Night Out. It also relates to, well, I'll get to that in a second, the VSO, certain amounts for tourism, as well as emergency services and the airport. And then the large number in there, $20,675, relates to the coroner's ball donations. And this receipts those funds officially into our system.
Yeah, he brought that up before. It's huge. Big deal.
Now, these are just monetary.
These are
donations.
monetary, these are
Okay.
only the money.
Okay.
Accounting for the,
Okay, got a motion?
I'll move to adopt resolution number 25-57.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt 2557. Any other comments?
We've got two that we're gonna have to grab for, GHS by the end of the year.
Okay.
That's right.
So-
They're still coming in for food.
Yeah, there's still a few weeks left.
Yeah.
This is only the beginning, this is part one.
And by Monday, you'll all be straightened out, won't it?
And some of this will be doing in January
Throw
too.
mine.
Probably so, yeah.
That's right.
Um,
Okay, any other comments, questions? Hearing none, I'll call for that vote. All in favor, say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Next up,
Yeah.
tangible donations, 2558.
2558 relates to the tangible donations that have been brought into the county. It's a total of $961,521.35. These are recognized as $730,435 worth of equipment through the military surplus program for the Custer County Sheriff's Office, through the Custer County Sheriff's Office. A vehicle, specifically a Humvee, for $225,121. That is, we also recognize that as being unsellable and has to be returned to military surplus if it's deemed unusable. And then $7,000 for the receipt of a trailer for a total of $961,521.35.
And that is specifically the livestock trailer.
Livestock.
That's a livestock trailer, yes.
Yeah.
The notorious livestock trailer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's, I'll move that we adopt 2558.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion on that?
So the only discussion I have is we have no letter from the owners of that trailer as to intended purpose.
Correct.
So I take it that we are gonna take this as a general donation to the county at large.
I thought, yeah, I think so.
So I think when people donate
They,
equipment like that, there should be what's its intended purpose, why are you giving this, something in that nature.
No, we could go. I don't know if they verbally said it, that doesn't probably matter.
If it wasn't written down, it didn't happen.
That's right. Okay, good with that. Any other comments?
Somebody second that.
Yeah. I moved it.
He seconded it.
I second.
I have an ignorant question.
Okay,
If the Humvee is being recorded as like $250,000, but you can't sell it and you gotta give it back, why does it have any value at all?
Essentially what it comes down to is a clerical notation. What this resolution does is it lets me record it on the books as being, it doesn't affect our fund balance at all, but it makes certain that we don't sell it. But we have to record it in some way into our budgetary finance system. So this is the method that the accountants recommend. We did it last year for the MRAP vehicle. Basically, we hold it on our books, and then when we give it back to the military, we take it off our books, but it doesn't affect the fund balance in any way.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wish I could do that.
it's like renting space, you're just taking space up here.
It's almost like a designation without a distinction. It's really, and it was imposed by one of the GASB. It was imposed by one of the GASB protocols and the generally accepted accounting principles. But it doesn't mean a whole lot. But we're trying to keep our books
Could have
straight,
put any
and this is what
value
we need
on
to
it,
do.
50 cents.
Yeah, we could have put 50 cents on it, and it would have been the same thing. But this is the number that I have to work with from DRMO. So this is what we put down. So,
That's what they thought it was worth.
yep.
Another one.
Okay, I'll call for the vote on that. All in favor of adopting resolution 2558, Lucas?
Aye.
Vogelsong, aye?
Vogelsong, Kanda, aye. Thank you on that one. 2559.
2559, this one's the fun one. A resolution establishing the 56 fund as an internal service fund for the county's self-insured employee health insurance program. And I want to thank all the people that have worked on this to refine it and set it up properly. Essentially what this does is, and I don't know if I should read this.
No, just go to the purpose
Okay.
and scope.
Okay, purpose and scope. Essentially what this does is it establishes formally the use of the 56 fund as an internal service fund for our county health insurance program that you've already voted to establish. Excuse me, purpose and scope. 56 fund is established for the limited purpose of receiving and accounting for all revenues, contributions, and other resources intended to finance the county's self-insurance health plan, including charges to county funds and departments, employee and retirement contributions, and any other authorized sources. Paying all valid expenses of the health plan, including claims, claim-related liabilities, stop-loss premiums, third-party administrator or administrative fees, actuarial consulting services, and any other health plan related costs as approved by the BOCC or its designees. So this basically says we can pay our health insurance into this fund and we pay our health expenses out of this fund. And this will be associated, there'll be another resolution coming in the next 2 weeks to further refine that a little bit of the scope, and then I'll have some policies that will have to support this because it's an interesting world.
Change, you bet.
I'll move that we adopt Custer County Resolution number 25-59.
I'll second that one.
Good.
Okay, any discussion here, no?
No,
Question?
we need to do it,
Okay, any questions publicly? None? Hearing none, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of adopting resolution 2559, say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Okay, good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. All right, let's take 5 for. Okay, we're back. It's 9:59. We're back in session after our break, and we're ready to pick up where we left off, and that would be Resolution 2559. 60, I mean, I didn't check the last one. 60. Sale of 2 Dodge Rams.
So, on October 16th of this year, we had a title in hand. We thought that was the title for the remaining 2016 Dodge Ram that went to Watts.
Yeah.
That wasn't correct. That wasn't even close to correct.
That's true. That's correct too.
I want to correct some of the things that we've done in the past that just haven't been
Straighten up.
and straighten these out of transparency and out of, hey, this is what happened to these vehicles. This is public business. So there was 2 2016 Dodge Ram pickups. One got traded for, along with a Jeep Patriot, to Watts Outfittings to outfit the 2 Silverados pickups that the sheriff got. So that title got signed without a resolution being put together or a motion and a meeting put together.
Yeah.
And exchanged to Watts Outfitters. And then the other Dodge Ram had been wrecked, totaled out, and we kept that vehicle. We took it down to the sheriff's shooting range, and then it got sold to salvage without a title. We have no contracts or bill of sales for either of those sales. So this kind of cleans that up as best I know how to clean it up after the fact.
Okay.
So this is just a resolution basically selling these 2 Ram pickups with the correct VIN numbers to the correct businesses that we sold them to, or that they got sold to.
So I have a question.
Yes?
The one that went to the salvage, usually the salvage yards won't take.
I know, I'm
that
surprised
title.
that happened.
So, were they given a incorrect title maybe?
They weren't given a
They weren't given
title.
a
Title at all.
So now the salvage company is asking for a title.
Okay,
So multiple things happened. One, no motion to sell a county-owned piece of property for either vehicle. And then 2, not the right process, no bill of sale,
Yeah, this
nothing
was
was
back when we
given.
first started setting up the process, and it never happened.
so moving forward, you guys will have a resolution to sell,
Yes,
Mhm.
and then I can give the title to Bill.
Right.
He can sign it and give it to whoever.
That's
correct.
Okay, so is the scrapyard one in this motion, so I'll have a
Yes.
VIN number?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
They're on there.
And that one's already been signed and given over to them because that's the title we had on October 16th that
Right.
we thought was the one that was
right
going to
one.
Watts, because there was no
Oh,
other pickup.
That's what I was getting at, is I thought I gave them
Yeah,
one, and
yeah.
so what happened? Okay, all right,
Yeah, that's what started this whole thing.
It
Okay.
straightens it up.
okay.
Okay, good explanation. I'll move we adopt 2560.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, another discussion? Thanks for cleaning it up.
Yeah, we needed to be in.
All in favor of adopting 2560, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Paul?
What was on that?
Kanda, aye.
All right.
Next up.
So this is the sale of the livestock trailer. The sale has already taken place. The owner already took possession of the livestock trailer. This is just clarifying and clearing this up that this trailer, livestock trailer that was sold on govdeals.com to Chance Walls for the amount of $6,600 is hereby authorized to clean up yet another mess that we had.
Right, and he's coming back, I think, to buy some more too, so he knows the process now. I actually talked to him on the phone. Anything else on that one?
We need to mention the VIN on that at all?
It's in the resolution.
Yeah, it's on this.
Okay, you got a motion? Do we have it?
I'll make the motion that we adopt resolution number 25-61 for the transfer
Sale.
of the livestock trailer for $6,600.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt 2561 for the sale of the livestock trailer. Any other questions?
Is that the same trailer that was donated?
Yes, the same trailer that was donated
That's the trailer that we
Correct.
talked about earlier.
Okay.
back in March.
It was donated a long time ago and it sat there for quite a while.
So then will Vernon do another resolution to take it out, or does this,
No, so he,
This does
this
that.
cut,
this takes care of
Yeah.
that?
So,
So this will clear it off the books and out of our asset
right.
list.
Okay, any other questions? All right, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of adopting resolution 2561 for the sale of the livestock trailer, say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Okay, next, resolution 2562, board approval for non-standard pay raises.
So I put this together to, this is kind of goes hand in hand with the hiring freeze, just so that we don't have budget creep during the year without us knowing about it. Just kind of tightens up our policies and puts things in place to keep us, so that we don't creep our budgets up during the year and then we're wondering what happened, so.
Okay, good. I will move that we adopt
I'm sorry,
resolution 2562, board approval for non-standard pay raises. You want to second it?
I'll second.
What?
Okay, well, I'll have a discussion on it, because I have a couple of questions. Any other here questions?
Do you have a question?
I have a comment. Bob?
Yeah,
I
well,
was asking if I had comments, I don't know what it says, so I can't.
Well, Bob, HR had expressed a concern that there may be situations where a pay raise can't take effect at the beginning of the next pay cycle under certain circumstances.
Correct.
that's why I asked Bob to
You know, we haven't addressed that.
Can't take effect?
I'm just going off, don't look at me to explain it.
Okay.
Bob, you got a comment,
Bob.
go ahead.
Come on.
be. Come on up, Bob.
So, now that I understand what you're talking about, so Vernon sent a, wanting to know, if you wanted a resolution creating that pay raises or increases in wage can only happen at the beginning of a pay cycle because of the difficulty for payroll processing, which it does. There's no concerns about that. And my comment was, it may be difficult because you're setting by resolution, a policy that may be difficult, that every situation for all circumstances may not easily fit into that. And for some reason, it may need to be outside of the first of a pay cycle for expeditious purposes or whatever, or something else the board wants to do, where you would have to do, there's a request to give a raise or an increase out before the beginning of the pay cycle.
I think that's what this is
So,
trying to do.
yeah, go ahead and create that, but in your resolution, acknowledge that there may be expeditious purposes that need to be taken into account where a wage increase for purposes of the best of the counties, to do it before or after a first of a pay month. That's all, just an acknowledgement, that may
But it
happen.
could occur at any time during the.
Yeah, during
that
a
would
month,
just- I
outside
think
the
this
first of a
that would
payday.
cover it.
Yeah, so,
Does it cover that, Dan? It sounds like it would.
No, well, first of all, the phrase approved request will take effect at the beginning of the next pay cycle only is in the section relating to exceptions. So if someone if there's a pay raise that's already authorized in the budget, that and for some reason that has to happen in between pay cycles, that could still happen. That doesn't have to come before the
Right.
board for approval.
Right.
It's only under an extraordinary circumstance where it would come before the board for approval. And again, we can take that out, that sentence out if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I didn't want to lock the county into a situation where it's in the best interest of the county to give an employee an increase in pay that falls outside of the first of the pay cycle. And
thought that's
when
what
it may
that-
not be in the best interest of the county to do
No, I
that.
agree.
Yeah, that's all, just some acknowledgement
understand
there
what
should be
you're
way.
I understand what he's saying, I'm just saying, what to the extent that his concern is a valid concern, it is not written that way. So we would have to change the resolution. And I think we would just delete that sentence about approved request beginning.
I think that it's necessary to do that personally. I thought it, but I read it to immediately what you read, but if not, that's fine. What do you think?
So doing the pay raises at the beginning of the cycle, so always the 16th, they take effect the 16th. You can't make it happen the day before payroll goes out. It's
Right.
just impossible to do that
Right.
because of the system we're set. We've already started payroll. Once that gets activated, you can't make a change then
Until after the next.
until after that process has taken place. So we're just trying to make a system and a process that's set up so that, hey, if we all get on the same page,
Make it
this will
happen.
make it easier for payroll to process, and everybody knows this is the process that we're going through.
So it's just a line.
I don't have heartburn on it either way. If we choose to have this in there and we decide, hey, we need to give a pay raise today because if we don't, we're not gonna keep this person,
I can't
then
imagine.
we can do that
You
anyway.
could do it effective and then have it
Yeah, I'd leave it alone.
retro a certain number of hours to another date, which is fine as long as that's understood. I just didn't want the county to
If
be
they
locked
know they're
into
gonna get it 2
something.
weeks later, what the heck, if they wanna
Right.
quit that, quit.
Yeah.
I just didn't want the county to be locked into something that they may not want to be locked in later
Well, in
on.
the end, this is the board of county commissioners' decision.
Right.
The board of county commissioners
Do what
want
you
to
want.
create an exception to the exception.
We can do it
Right.
anytime.
You can do it.
Right.
You're not binding a future board to never ever do this. You're
Right.
just saying this is the policy.
Mhm.
And this,
Just for your consideration, just putting it on the table for your discussion.
I think I think they can wait 2 weeks.
No worries.
we're done.
Or whatever. You got heartburn either way?
Either way, do whatever you guys wanna do.
Let's leave it
If you
alone.
wanna take it out of there, take it out. I just wanna make sure that when there's pay raises given, that we know about it and we can.
That's right, that we'll
We
know
can
about
watch
it.
that scope
Right.
creep.
I'm okay.
I'm good. All right, well, you had a discussion. I have another question.
Mhm.
At that CCI meeting, we had a discussion on, not, the districts got together and talked, and Fremont County brought up a lot of things where they, because they have a lot of money, we don't, we had to put a freeze on hiring, they didn't, they actually gave COLAs, and they gave another bonus on top of that, and a lot of things happened.
Yeah, the funds.
But they brought up their merit-based system, and it's a good, and I would like to have you get with their office that set this up, but and I know you're familiar with it, it's step increases that are allowed by the, like, let's say, the director of planning and zoning has to do a increase during the time it's not an actual
Mhm.
thing, it's a step up,
Right.
another $100 or whatever it is. I would like to see something like that, because I know we're coming up with our policy on how we're promoting people and how we are putting bands together and coming up with a system. So before you come forward with that final policy, I'd like to have you get with the Fremont County, I'll get a contact for you to take a look at how they set it up. Sounds pretty good, the way they describe it to me.
It's fairly common way.
I know it is.
Merit-based pay, there's lots of ways to do it. It's a good process,
So
as
you
long
know,
as you have the
so if
money
you're an
to support it.
admin and you're in there, and that's right, it would have to be in the, and people can budget for that if they see one of their
Mhm.
employees that are excelling and during their budget cycle, and they be arguing for, the budget
Mhm.
that they need to do, or not. And so, but that would be a good thing to
Mhm.
have the policy behind.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I have. Not really. All right, given that, I'll call for, is there any other public discussion? That Jim first.
Well, I'm reading this non-standard pay raises stuff here. This is not a way for you guys to sneak through a pay raise for yourselves, is it?
By law, we aren't allowed to do it.
Is that a
We
motion?
don't ever do it. Unless the state does.
Good question, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, we're not Congress.
Yeah.
I didn't
And we
think
can't
so.
print our own money. Jim,
Well, taking the same cynicism and drilling it down a little further, the last bit of the discussion implied that there is not a routine review, performance review, and salary adjustment process in the county?
no.
No, the only thing that's really been happening is just during budget time, we approve whatever the COLA cost is gonna be, or if we're gonna give one or whatnot.
So there are, okay, so there's cost of living increases, but
No merit
at the
based pay.
whim of department heads lobbying, and then there's
Right.
merit increases, which
Yes.
aren't documented in any way, shape, or form.
Correct.
So that's the process you're asking for, to model from Fremont County.
That's- that- yeah,
We
that's
need
not
a,
this
we've never
resolution.
had
Yeah,
a system
okay.
here that.
All right,
Because it's informal.
Something was said, which is a little bit disturbing to me about this non-standard pay increase, which was if an employee is planning on leaving, shall I say, and you don't want that employee to leave, that you're gonna use salary increase as a incentive?
I was just using an example of what I thought maybe Robert was kind of getting at, that maybe, well, we got a good employee, but now the rates across, the Colorado have gone up. What are we're gonna have to do something mid-year to keep this person, because we're hearing this person may leave because there's other job opportunities
Yeah,
with higher
the
pay
problem I
elsewhere.
have with that is, that example implies you need to do it for everybody, not just one employee you want to keep. If everybody in Colorado is going up.
That's true,
Could be.
It sounds to me like almost, from my experience, it's almost a bribery thing to keep a person
that's an incentive.
by offering an increase in salary.
No, it happens in industry, and it happens a lot of
Well,
places.
I've been in industry for 40 years, so I know what happens in industry. And it's not commonly used as a way to keep an employee who is saying they're gonna leave. Now, the other way around, sure, give employee an increase to make it more likely they will not leave,
That's right.
but not the other way around. That
That's
employee
That's
is
right.
planning on leaving, therefore you.
So what we've had in the past.
I just want to make sure that that is not a procedure or policy that is being followed, because to me, it doesn't seem like.
That's why we want to have a merit thing, Jim, because we constantly train motor grader operators, and they go get a better job in Fremont County or somewhere, or the sheriff's deputies, they'll go to somewhere else.
Well, right.
But what's an incentive here is, there's other incentives to be here, they like it for their family reasons.
Right.
If they had a 10-cent increase, that be helpful.
I'm talking to.
That's why we need the policy.
If I may add to that, is we don't want someone coming to us and say, well, we told them we're gonna give them an increase in salary. We wanna have them come and say, is it okay if I do this at the time appropriate to do it? Because they're now more qualified. That would be, right now, we get a notice saying, we interviewed this person and this is the amount we wanna pay them. And we have no say-so on that amount now.
Well, you do
that's
in the
something.
hiring process through and as a part of the department head and myself and you. This is what the position is
It just opens
currently
it up for
paid, yeah.
discussion prior to.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll just close what I was saying with, it's kind of, it says non-standard pay increases. It basically sounds like you don't have standard pay increases.
Yes, we do.
Well, it doesn't
That's in
sound
the
like
budget
it.
process, that's the thing that.
We should call this non-budget pay raises, because most of our pay raises come during budget, when we set the budget. So this should maybe not non-standard, but, because the standard is we give them during the budget process into the next budget.
Well, it sounds like you just get cost of living, so
Right.
That's right.
there is no, okay.
The other thing is, Jim, we've got a lot of grants and a lot, and that allows somebody in like a plan zone to get a big grant. You can hire a person full-time, but that grant goes away next year, so it's a non-standard increase that would have impacted if we had to cough up the money to keep that person around, otherwise you have to let them go.
Well, maybe a better example is you have a department head who has in their budget some big program, and that program doesn't
Goes
happen.
away.
So they have $50,000 in their budget that isn't set for payroll, but they say, our guys, they're not making enough money, so let's give them an increase of 10, everybody gets an across the board 10% increase in their pay, because we have some extra money in our budget. Well, that pay raise isn't budgeted, even though they have extra money in their budget, the pay raise isn't budgeted.
Can't keep it in
And that's the
next year.
kind of thing that shouldn't be happening,
Mhm.
because that impacts future budgets.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't change
That's right.
the allocation of the
That was really.
budgeted thing just because now we've got money and let's dole it out to everybody.
Correct.
That's what this
Yes.
resolution is about.
Okay, well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm just more worried about Robert getting on the merit-based pay increases because that's more important.
That's a
I'm
different,
not saying you get on it, I'm just saying.
No, I understand.
It's a great thing for you to be doing.
Yeah. Just to be clear, my concern was not that I think it's a good idea. It absolutely is. I just wanted to make sure that the board took into consideration that there may be situations that I can't realize now that locks you into a situation that you may not want to be. But if there's a way to fix it, or if you're okay with that, then do it.
The board's not locking itself into anything by its own decision.
Because they can always undo it.
Okay, enough discussion, we're ready to move forward. Any other? Okay, I'll call for that vote on resolution 2562, approval of non-standard pay raises.
I'll second.
All
Aye.
move we adopt it. So-
Aye.
Wait a minute, we already did that. We already did that. So all in favor say aye, Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Okay, the last one is the 2563 VIN inspection of county vehicles.
So I put this together
Thanks,
to
Bob.
formalize another process. I think all vehicles donated, purchased, that they go before Kelly Camper if they're gonna be titled here as county vehicles.
Sure, just like anybody, right?
So, I just want to make sure that we formalize that process, and this is a way to do that, that any inspections or verifications of the vehicle identification number for vehicles owned by Custer County or for vehicles to be acquired by Custer County shall be performed by the office of the Custer County Clerk and Recorder, regardless of whether other Custer County employees or offices are authorized to engage in such inspection or verification. Exceptions to this policy may be granted by the clerk and recorder in his or her sole discretion if a VIN inspection verification must be performed outside of Custer County.
Okay. Got a motion?
I'll make the motion that we adopt Custer County Resolution number 25-63 on registration of vehicles through the county court.
I'll second. So, any other discussion here? I like it.
No.
No,
Normal process.
no, it's,
Questions in
we're
the
just
public?
putting it in writing.
All right, I'll call for that vote on adopting Custer County Resolution 2563. All in favor, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Paul?
Vogelsong, aye.
Kanda, aye. Okay,
Just-
additional items of business. I just had one thing I wanted to mention. I forgot to do it up front. We did receive the underfunded courts grant. We won that. They didn't grant all 75K, they granted us 25K. And to be used to pull together the costs of what the cost of a new courthouse would be, as we described to them. And so we'll move forward. I have the contract I have to sign. We said the private process, not the contract, but the grant. And that'll happen here today.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, with that, we'll go public comment. If anybody's got any other comments, you could say, "Good job, Jim."
Well, you weren't quite as quick as last time.
Oh, shoot! Okay, we won't take a compliment then. All right, and with that, then we'll move into an executive session. We'd like to, this is just to discuss personnel matters within the board itself. So we will
Need a motion.
make a motion to.
Sure.
Go into personnel, executive session.
We need,
discuss
yeah.
Personnel matters per 24-6-402-4F.
Yeah, so I will move that we go into executive session on personnel matters per 24-6-402 paren 4, paren F, from Colorado Revised Statute.
I'll second.
Okay. With that, we'll do that and come back afterwards.
Need a vote.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
Therefore, all in favor, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Vogelsong, aye.
Kanda, aye. You're just so excited to get out
Well,
of
she
here.
looks like she was getting ready to stop. I blame Kelly. She was getting ready to stop.
Wait a minute, there was no public comment on whether
Okay, this is Bill Canada, Chairman of the Custer County Board of Commissioners. We've just come out of executive session, and I'll let our attorney attest to what happened.
I would, as the county attorney would attest that all conversations that occurred in the executive session fell under the gambit of a personnel matter, or personal matters per 24-64024F. The participants in the executive session were the 3 county commissioners, county clerk and recorder Kelly Camper, and myself. If anyone here believes that there was discussion that went outside of the scope that was approved for executive session, I would encourage you to speak up now and voice that objection.
None here.
None here.
Okay, with that, there are no other matters for us to consider. Any other points here?
Business, no.
Okay, therefore I will adjourn this meeting at 11:06.
Thank you, everybody.